My guest this week is somebody I've known, I think, for about 17 years. I was thinking Jim Florentine. Jim Florentine.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you. Yeah, it's probably been. I mean, we didn't, we never did too many gigs together or anything like that. No. We were always, you were doing your thing, I was doing mine. But
well, you came up in Jersey, and I was the suburbs of Boston. But I always felt like you guys, you, Norton, Voss, that whole crew, even though Voss probably started in the 70s.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you guys kind of had the same thing where you weren't in New York City. Like, we both had to, like, migrate there. And I feel like when I started coming down to New York with Patrice in, like, 94, 95. Moved there in, like, 95. And I don't think I saw you when you had the long hair. I think you had your hair cut by then, didn't you?
Yeah, well, 92, 93 is when me and Norton started going in New York City and just,
Yeah, you remember that shit when we used to go down, when we used to do the food spots at the Cellar, and we would do them, and then you'd play, everybody would play chess and just shit on each other if you weren't playing chess upstairs at the Olive Tree. You know what I love about that? Thank God nobody was, because I'm so fucking codependent. If they were all drinkers, I would have been boozing like every night with them. But thank God they weren't, so everyone just sat around. Like Patrice never drank.
Yeah.
Jim doesn't drink. Bobby didn't drink. Yeah, none of those guys drank. And I remember getting into this cycle of going down there and doing like a 12:30. No, David Tell was always at 12, so I'd be on after him like 12:45, 12:50. And then you just sit there, and you'd always be like, I'm going home early tonight. I'm going home early. Next thing you know, it was like 4 in the morning. The amount of times I took the subway home, used to take the 6 from Astor Place. I'd take it up when I was living with fucking Bobby, and we'd be getting off the train, and the sun was coming up, and people were coming out to go to work, and it was so fucking bizarre. It was kind of cool, but then also I always felt like a bum, because I used to be like a morning person, had like a paper route and all that type of shit, and then you get in that awful cycle where you'd go to bed at like 7:30, sleep till like 3 or 4, and then you just wake up and do what? Get breakfast, and it was time to go down the fucking Cellar again.
Yeah, that's a tough. I lived with Norton for like 4 years, and that was his schedule. I would go to bed at like 2. I was never a 6 o'clock guy. I go to bed at 2 and get up at 10. He was a guy that at 7 in the morning he'd still be up, and then I have to wake him up at like 6 o'clock. I go, dude, you got spots. You got the Cellar at 8 o'clock. I'd be waking him up at 6 o'clock.
How long did you live with him?
Like probably 3 years.
And you guys were able. You guys seem like you'd be able to get along good. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. We got along great, man. We lived right outside the city. We paid like $300. I had a girlfriend at the time that lived with us. So it was $900 for rent. So we split it 3 ways, $300 a piece.
Perfect.
We were fucking 5 minutes away from the GW or the Lincoln Tunnel. It was beautiful. It was a shithole. There was fucking mold all over the walls and stuff. We didn't care. Like $300, it's fucking beautiful.
I lived with Bobby, and we almost killed each other by the end. But I actually learned how to let shit go. Like Bobby has this great thing where he can get past shit. And I didn't come from a school where you got past shit. It's like you did something to me, and then we had fuck you, and then the shit was over. But I learned through him how to be like, all right, dude, you don't write somebody off because they spilled orange juice on your fucking little kitchen TV that you had there, But we lived we lived 3 people in a walk-through 1-bedroom apartment. It was 1 bedroom, and then it was like a sitting room.
Right.
And we actually used that as like the bedroom. And then in the living room, Bobby had a pull-out couch that he slept on. It was ridiculous. And our roommate, anytime he brought a chick back there, he always fucking walked through. Like and Bobby put like a shower curtain up. It was fucking hilarious. And the guy always would come fucking, and he'd fucking like try and peek in to see the chick you were with.
Oh, yeah.
Not during, but like afterwards when you're fucking laying there. So one time Bobby fucking, the dude came walking through. So Bobby was naked and he was underneath the covers. So what he did when the guy was coming back, because when he'd come back, it's the way you were laying in the bed, and then he'd look to see, I don't know, see your titties or whatever. Bobby pulled the covers off of himself and was laying there totally naked. And the dude came walking in and locked eyes with Bobby, and Bobby was just like, what's up? And he never did it again.
Really?
He never did it again. It was brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. It was classic Bobby Kelly. Like, I would have sat there for fucking 4 days trying to figure out how I'm going to approach this subject with him. He just got right to the core. I'll just show him my junk.
Right.
That'll freak him out.
That's funny.
And I don't have to say anything. It was fucking perfect.
That's great. I used to have a roommate where his dad used to come home and want to look at the girls that we brought home.
Oh.
Yeah, he was real creepy, right? Yeah, he would always, he fucked one of his son's girlfriends after they broke up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he a younger guy?
No, I mean, he was like 20. He was probably like 45, and we were 20, something like that. And he was a bald dude. He wasn't good looking at all or anything like that.
Jesus.
So he's always. So I remember one time, like we only had one bedroom. We were sharing. And we had these two girls there, and I was on the floor at one. The son was in the bed with the other, and he comes home and he's peeking in. And he turned the light on. He looked. I never forget this. It was so funny. He looked at the bed and he couldn't really see, and then he looked in the ground. He sort of scrolled, and she was fucking fat. Right. That's what I got. And he's like, who the fuck's with Orca down there? I never get
He said that?
He said that, yeah.
What did the girl do?
We just pretend like, get out of here. And we just pretend
you tried
like
to drown him out?
Oh, we tried to, but we didn't drown him out at all because it was awful. We were like, I was trying to hold it in because it was pretty fucking funny. Who's with Orca?
Yeah, dude, you had that thing. Yeah, I never had, I could never hook up with somebody some of my friends, they could just hit anything that fucking moved just for the numbers. I always there had to be some sort of attraction. I remember a couple times my friends like, dude, what the fuck? And I was just like, dude, she's gross. And they'd be like, at least let her blow you. And I was like, yeah. So I tried to do that one time. And I ended up hooking up with this girl, and she just was fucking. I don't. You ever hook up with a girl? She's like young, but she wears like an old person's perfume.
Oh, the
she
worst.
Smelled like she was fucking 80.
Oh.
She smelled like she was fucking 80, and that's all I could remember. I just remember banging her doggy style with my head turned to the side.
Yeah,
it was horrific.
No, that's bad. I went through that phase for a while, but then I needed, it had to be quality. But there was times where, because
you had quality, dude. I never saw there were certain guys I saw. They'd bring girls down to the cellar. I was never a guy who brought girls down to the cellar. I never I never trusted. I just feel you're just bringing them down to the lion's den.
Well, yeah. I know.
You know.
I know.
If someone didn't take her, at the very least, I would go down there and take a pounding. Some epic fucking pounding. I remember one night Patrice was going after Norton, and Norton had some girl there, and they got into it a little bit.
Yeah, because Norton doesn't like that. Like if he says something, because Patrice will say something to a girl or something. Norton doesn't like to get, if he perceives he's
which
getting
totally makes sense. Which totally makes sense. But Patrice, once he saw that Jim was annoyed, it was fucking hilarious. It was really really fun. Jim really got mad, and of course they squashed it the next fucking day. But
Patrice
hilarious.
did that when I brought a girl down. She said something stupid while he was sitting at the table. He was trying to be nice, and she just said something. And I forget what it was. And Patrice just laid into her, and the girl's like, "I want to go. I'm getting out of here. Why is he so mean?"
Yeah,
of course, I was bad mouthed, and I'm like, "Yeah."
Robinson.
I go, "He's an asshole." I don't know. I thought he was my friend. I don't know why he would say that. Meanwhile, I'm like, "That was fucking funny. You deserved it," but I wasn't going to say that.
No, Patrice and Keith Robinson, if they were ever there together, it just was like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, I didn't have the skill to still get laid after parading the girl past those two fucking guys, because they were either going to trash her or they were going to trash me and make me look like an asshole, or even worse. I really took some epic fucking poundings down there. I was not good at that. I was not good at that game. Just sitting there trashing people, because the way I learned the game was it was serious and you went right for the fucking jugular. Like Bobby has that a little bit.
Right.
Which is why we probably almost killed each other when we were living together. I mean, we only got I guess I can go as long as I want, but I don't want to fucking... I go by the old showbiz adage of leaving them wanting more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that's why my podcasts are like 18 minutes, 23.
Dude, I fucking love your podcast.
Really?
Oh, me and Paul Verzi Paul Verzi does a great Florentine.
Really?
I'm telling you, he got me. He's the one who told me that you were doing, because I didn't know you were doing it. He's like, dude, you got to listen to Florentine's podcast. Oh, by the way, hype your podcast. Where can people get it?
It's on iTunes. It's Comedy Metal Midgets. It's called Jim Florentine Comedy Metal Midgets.
Midgets.
It's on my website, jimflorentine.com.
Oh, I'm trying to think of how he does the impressions of, what are you kidding me? It's garbage. It's a joke. Fucking joke.
awful.
It's fucking joke.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I know. Some guy tweeted me the other day. He goes, "Dude, you sound so miserable when you start your podcast off." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm fucking sitting in my office by myself, and something fucking bothers me. I go, I'm going to do a podcast about it. I'm angry."